Okay, so today I'm covering a situation that I just find interesting because I operate in a space between scenes, influencer and boxing and MMA. So I see crossover pretty much everywhere. Today I saw a crossover I didn't expect at all. And that is Sneako messing with the wrong nerd. What do I mean? The breakdown. Let's go. So let's start off the breakdown by saying this. Combat sports include people from all walks of life, countries, ethnicities, different mindsets, different makeups, big, short, tall, small, men, women, everyone is completely different. And it's part of the reason that we all like combat sports, because it represents, at least in some way, all of us. But it also means that you get these crossovers of what we call sleeper builds. And those are people that you don't expect to be tough or good at combat sports, and they may even look like your little brother or your little brother's even nerdier friend that wears glasses like this and talks a little bit like this, but put in the right situation or potentially the wrong one, has the skills to absolutely murder someone. Well, Sneako ran across one of those guys today. Enter Mike Musumeci, and I'll explain who that someone is and why after we get into this video, because Sneako, as he normally does, is making jokes on his stream. And by the way, it is a little bit of a silly situation in its own right. It's more of a joke than anything, but Sneako was, I guess, reacting to a clip on his stream and made this joke.
A master of jiu-jitsu is somebody that inspires another generation, and then they're doing the positions that you created.
Like, how is there a combat sport where these people, like, they look like the Soul Boy collage? How are they winning combat sport competitions? What the?
A master.
Now, that was a very short version of the clip. I don't know if there is another part where he went a little further and commented on this individual's looks and also his capabilities just as a person in society. And yeah, it's a bit of a funny one, to be honest, as well, because you look at that guy and you think, yeah, that dude shouldn't be able to beat up anyone. But then you find out that that guy, his name is Mike Musumeci. And even me, I didn't know who this individual was. Because while, yes, I love MMA, I am not in depth in the jiu-jitsu world. But once I found out who this was, and I had a feeling this would be the case, I went, oh no, Sneako. Oh no. Let's just, as a fun little exercise, run through his credentials as a jiu-jitsu practitioner. Oh my God, look at some of this. Okay, Mikey's jiu-jitsu gold medals from 2016 in the AJP Grand Slam World Tour, 2017 Abu Dhabi AJP, 2017 European Championships, 2020 European Championships. You might as well just fast forward the video, Leo, because I'm going to name a lot more here.
2017 World Championships, 2018 World Championships, 2019 World Championships, and 2021 Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu World Championships.
All clad in gold for Mikey Musumeci. I think Mikey is now also currently sitting as the one championship flyweight submission grappling world champion. So, in other words, he's the best in the world at his weight class, which, by the way, is around 135 to 140 pounds, depending on where he decides he wants to grapple. But that just doesn't tell the story enough, because Mikey also submitted the likes of legends like Shinya Aoki with his own move, which is the interview that Sneako is actually referring to when Mikey is making that speech. He submits a legend with his own move, and it's because of that legend that a martial artist like Mikey gets to do what he does. He's a nice, like, good-hearted guy. Sneako, obviously poking fun of that interview, takes that kindness for a generalized weakness. But that's not the only thing on Mikey's resume. And by the way, I know that Sneako is not asking to do jiu-jitsu, but it's the idea that Mikey is a nerd and can't either fight or get to the top of the sport because of that nerdy quality, or because of the soy boy quality, as Sneako put it. But Mikey's for the furthest thing from soy. I mean, he does go by the nickname Darth Rigatoni, eating like 7,000 calories of pasta and pizza per day. But like I said, he's also submitted Masakazu Imanari. If you've heard that word Imanari before, it's because you've probably seen a lot of fighters Imanari rolling on their backs to try to get ankle and leg locks. That is the man that created it. And Mikey submitted him, took his back, and choked him. Now, again, I don't know that Sneako was familiar with any of that, or the fact that he was a world champion jiu-jitsu practitioner when he called him soy. But the one thing that Sneako probably should have been aware of more than any of that stuff isn't just that Mikey is a good at the sport individual. He's also, when he needs to be, a cold-blooded killer. This part is going to be a little gruesome, so for those that don't like to see joints popping out of parts of bodies, I'd shield your eyes. But take a look at this clip where Mikey Musumeci damn near rips a man's knee off the bone.
Granataro doing a good job staying calm. Ooh, sorry, ladies and gentlemen, that looks very painful.
That's the Mikey lock. That's the Mikey lock.
Right there.
Transition attack in the knee.
That, ladies and gentlemen, is why we call them sleeper builds. He is a goddamn savage. Now, with that in mind, let's hear what Mikey had to say to respond to Sneako after Sneako decided he was going to poke a little fun, which again, yes, is harmless, but you probably want to pick your targets better, because Mikey actually saw that clip and he responded with this.
Today I'm going to talk about bullies. Bullies are weak people that make fun of others around them to give themselves relevance and to make themselves feel good. They pick on the differences of humans, which is the most beautiful part of humans, their uniqueness. I really don't like bullies, guys. And there's this...
I don't like the way that Mikey is looking right now. Those eyes, man, that's a different intensity in those eyes. You want the Mikey that wants to share pizza with you. You want the Mikey that's going to have conversations with Aljo about the butt sitting and scooting techniques of jiu-jitsu and sport jiu-jitsu. Not this guy, the one that looks like the screen is gonna shatter from him staring through it.
And there's this guy named Sneako making fun of me, making fun of my friend, making fun of jiu-jitsu. He calls himself a boxer. I'm a jiu-jitsu guy. Let's have an MMA fight. I challenge Sneako to an MMA fight. I'm gonna shut his mouth and I'm going to take the bully's lunch money. Today I'm going to talk about bullies.
He said he's going to take the bully's lunch money. Okay, well, first off, no, this would not go well for Sneako at all. And he knows that, I think. But again, this is why, even if it's a joke, you can't generalize combat sports and fighters and all these things, because one, they're sensitive. Mikey here is, in his way, defending what he looks at as a bully attacking his sport, him and his friends. But again, fighters, combat sports, athletes in general are always hypersensitive about you acting as if they are not the thing that they are based on the way they look or they act or whatever. So I get where Mikey's coming from here. And again, if Sneako's gonna pick his battles, he probably should have chose a different one. But listen, Sneako had a response for it. Let's see what he thinks now that Mikey said his piece.
I challenge Sneako to an MMA fight. I'm gonna shut his mouth and I'm gonna take the bully's lunch money.
That's not, is that what a bully is? I make jokes. I'm a streamer. I joke about everybody, me, chat, everything, all day, every day. What? I said in that video you're upset about, you would make me tap in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. You would win. In MMA, even
Facts.
with striking, you would go, this is what you would do. Grab my heel and do the same shit you did to your master. You're a world champion. I train boxing sometimes. What the fuck do you think the result was gonna be? Is this a skit? I was looking at this and reading through the comments like, is everybody pranking me? Is everybody in on some sort of joke?
I mean, Sneako's right. Yeah, like, it's a joke. I get it. But, dude, the energy change is crazy. I get it. Sneako doesn't want to be taken seriously when he's joking, clearly joking, about, you know, soy boy this, whatever, right? It's clearly a joke. But there are some people that don't like to be joked about in any way, right? Like, especially, like I said earlier, talking about athletes, combat sports athletes who are super uber sensitive about what it is that they do and the pride they take in their work. It's like if you were to joke with Sneako, I mean, I don't know what he would take offense. Like, for example, Lil Nas X is doing right now with Christianity. Would that be something that he would respond to with like, oh, okay, it's just a joke, it doesn't matter? Probably not. But again, it doesn't really fucking matter. It's not that serious. But the point that Sneako was making there was like, yeah, 100%, you'd whip my ass. Like, what are you talking about? In a jiu-jitsu match and an MMA match because you could grapple me. Now, I don't know that Sneako understands fully his boxing while he's learning. And again, influencers that are learning to box is always great. Protect yourself, be able to understand a little bit more about the lifelong commitment that it takes to be a world champion at any combat sport. They're not very good. Even with that training, Sneako still has a long way to go to being a good striker. He's not a good striker right now. But Mikey isn't either. I think there's one clip of him out there throwing knees and kicks in Muay Thai, but it's not necessarily the most impressive thing ever. But let's be honest about this. This is not going to happen. These two aren't going to fight. What was the whole point of this? It's a lesson in picking your battles. If you're a guy like Sneako, is anything really gonna happen here? No, but you may want to do the whole thing that I know Sneako knows, but he was trying to make jokes for clips, and it worked, by the way. I'm talking about it, so is everybody else. It's the old adage, you can't judge a book by its cover. These nerds in jiu-jitsu are the same people that will smile in your face and grab whatever appendage you have and take it from you, then hand it back to you and say, good luck with the hospital bills, buddy. In a real life situation, in the streets or wherever else, they're probably the most ready for any altercation at any point, and have the ability to diffuse it and or escalate it depending on how they feel that day. So while Sneako made a joke, it was probably the wrong target, because the nerdy guy wearing the glasses the whole time is an absolute fucking killer. I think it would be great, honestly, for Sneako to go and train some jiu-jitsu and get an appreciation for the sport. I know that he did the same thing to kind of start his boxing out, right? He just wanted to spar people and fight people, and then he got in the ring with a couple of not super high level, but experienced enough guys and got to see what boxing really was and fell in love with it. I think jiu-jitsu might actually do the same things for Sneako. Mikey can, I don't know, eat pizza with him, go on stream with him. Sneako could take him on Fresh and Fit. I have no idea, but it would be more interesting to see that than an actual MMA match because Mikey would fucking kill Sneako. What are we talking about? Sneako knows that. We know that. It doesn't make any sense. At the end of the day, the lesson here, children, is know your target. If you're gonna make jokes about people or what they do or call them whatever, you gotta be prepared for how they respond. And also, just because martial artists or jiu-jitsu practitioners have a good smile and a quirky personality, they'll still fucking rip your face. So what happens with this Mikey and Sneako fight? Does the jiu-jitsu community rise up against the streamers? Do we finally get one of these streamers paying for their words? I don't think it's that serious. I'd actually like to see a video with these two training together, but I don't have those answers, and guess we'll find out.